Punchity punch punch.
Hello and welcome to my tutorial on how to draw a lightsaber. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw a lightsaber in Adobe Flash. I will also run through how to make one in Photoshop as well. Now I'm going to start off by telling you about the two parts of the lightsaber. You've got the hilt or handle, and then you've got the blade. And the blade itself is very bright. So the blade itself is actually pretty much a white colour, and then it's the glow around the outside of the blade that defines the colour of it. So for example with Yoda's lightsaber, the blade itself is white and the glow outside is green. Now I'll show you how I made that. Now here we are, I've got two different versions at the top here. Now the top one I did just using the brush tool. That one is, it's fine to use that, it's not quite as precise, but it doesn't matter in any way because we're going to add a ton of blur and glow effects. So you can use the brush tool, or you can do what I did in the second version and use the rectangle tool with some rounded edges. So I've set the rounded edge option to 50, and then what you can do is just stretch it out like that. Now I'm going to show you just how to make a lightsaber using these options. Now what you want to do is you want to set the colour of the outside to the darker end of the range of the colour spectrum you're going for your particular colour lightsaber. So if I wanted to make Mace Windu's lightsaber, I'd go for a kind of rich purple outline. Then to fill it, you want to go and make a linear gradient. Now you want one end of the gradient scale to be completely white. Then you want the other to be kind of a little bit lighter than the outline colour. So I've gone for a kind of mid-pink here. And then you just paste it in. So use your gradient transform tool, click on the gradient, scale it right down, flip it horizontally, which can take a little bit of time. There you go. Scale it right down and then just arrange it so that you've got as much pink as you want and you've got a white streak going down the middle. That can just take a little bit of time to arrange, but essentially that's what you're going for. You would then want to just chop off that end, and you want to select it and press F8 to convert it to a symbol. Now so far that doesn't really look much like a lightsaber. You've got the basic shape in place, but now you want to add a few effects to it. So there are 5 different effects I've put on this blade. You're going to have 5 different copies of the same blade essentially. You don't need to draw it 5 times, just once you've got it converted to a symbol, copy it, and then you've got it ready to use again and again. So the first 3 versions are basically the same. What I've done to the original is I've added a glow filter from the filters down in the right hand corner, and I've added a glow of 25 pixels with the colour being a mid blue. I've also added a blur filter of 5 pixels. So then you're going to want to copy that 2 more times so that you've got 3 in total. And if you want, you can play around with the glow colours and just make them slightly different colours. I've done them all slightly different shades of blue just because I think it all adds a little bit of an extra sort of flavour to the overall finished look. Then you're going to want a 4th copy, and now this one's slightly different. I've actually taken off the glow effect and I've upped the blur to about 10 pixels. And then I've also gone to properties, then under display here you've got your blending properties. Now I want to change the blending style to hard light. Now this just kind of makes it look a little bit more 3-dimensional, and it kind of makes it a little bit more translucent. That's going to come in handy when we're trying to brighten up the colour of the blade. Now the final one, you're going to have a blur of about 10 pixels and a glow, a very light coloured glow of about 5 pixels. So I've gone for a kind of teal colour here. But again, don't worry too much about the quantities of the pixel of the glow and blur, because just have fun with it and see what works best for you, because depending on the picture you're drawing, it could be totally different. But then basically you want the colour effect up here to be alpha, and then you want to drag it down to around about 20. You can also type that into the typer. There you go. So 20 is fine. Then you want the blending option not to be hard light, but to be add. And this is going to really brighten up the colour of the blade. you want to then overlay all of these on top of each other in the order that you made them. So the 3 normal ones can just fit over the top of each other. Then the hard light layer, that can go over the top of the normal. As you can see, it's already much brighter than it was a couple of minutes ago. Then you want to overlay the add layer on top of that. And there you've got your lightsaber. Then all you need to do is pop the hilt on, and you're away. You're ready to use this for whatever project you're working on. Essentially, the reason I've got those 3 normal layers is it just kind of brightens up that glow and gives a little bit more of a defined blue hue to that glow. You don't have to use 3 different layers all the same. If you want, you could just break it down to 1 normal, 1 hard light, and 1 add layer. But I kind of think having the 3 different normal versions just kind of adds a little bit more colour. Basically, that's your lightsaber done in Flash. You can add sort of extra details like highlights to the base of the hilt where the light's coming out of it. But really, lighting and stuff, that depends on the project you're using it for, because there might be different sources of light in the scene that you're drawing it for, so that's kind of best to play by ear. But essentially, for sure, there will be some highlights around this kind of top section of the hilt when the blade's out. So now I'm just going to show you how to make one from scratch. So I'm going to paste in the blade that we made earlier, the Mace Windu one. Let's just change the size of it slightly. Now I'm just going to make a really quick hilt. I don't want to spend too much time and drag this out too much. Oh, that's way too thick. So I'm just going to use the pencil tool to do this. Oh, good lord, that's even thicker. So basically, I'm just going to make a very basic hilt. So I'm going to start by making kind of rectangle shape. Could have just used the rectangle tool, to be honest. And let's kind of make this one kind of that shape. I'm not trying to make Mace Windu's lightsaber exactly. I'm just kind of making a miscellaneous lightsaber on this occasion. And let's pop a couple of buttons on it. And lightsabers tend to have a lot of different sections, so they tend to have a lot of areas split up and divided. So that's the hilt done. And we're going to want that slightly in front of the blade. I'm going to make the blade slightly thinner. So I'm going to select the blade, copy it. Now this one I'm going to add a glow of 25 pixels, set the quality to high, and then I want this glow to be kind of a pinky purple sort of colour. So then I'm going to paste the same one over the top. I'm going to add a glow again, and I'm going to change it to a bit more pink this time. Change that glow to 25 pixels. Add a blur of 5 pixels, which I actually didn't do on the previous one, so I'll go and do that now. Then we want a third one, and I'm going to change the glow colour again to a little bit more pink. Actually, a little bit darker purple with this one, I think. And keep the glow at 5. Then I'm going to paste another version on top. Now this version is going to be the hard light version. We want to remove the glow. Whoops. And we want to keep the blur, but we want to actually make it 10 pixels. Then we want to make a final one, which is going to be add, and the alpha will go down to 20, and we're going to add a glow of a bright kind of pink and 5 pixels. Now you want to bring your hilt back up to the front, and there you have your lightsaber. All done. Now this pretty much works the same in Photoshop as well. The difference in Photoshop is instead of copying and pasting the same symbol on top of itself, I would use the duplicate layer tool just to duplicate the same layer of your blade, and then you can just edit your different glows and layer effects from there. And that concludes the tutorial really. If you've got any questions or anything I've missed out, leave a comment below and I will try to get back to as many of you as possible. And please let me know what other sorts of tutorials you want to see me do, because I'm going to be doing a lot of drawing tutorials and animation tutorials hopefully this year. So I'd love to hear what you guys want help with. So yeah, leave a comment below, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
Thank you for watching. You will subscribe to Crunchlins. You will also leave a comment and a like rating. You'll soon be back, and in greater numbers. Follow me on social media and tell all of your friends how incredible Crunchlins videos are. Also, you will buy a t-shirt. Move along.